Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Healer's Journey. Tonight, we are doing What's Wrong with Empaths. And so if you feel like you are empathic, maybe this topic will resonate with you. And wondering, do you ever say, what's wrong with me? We'll talk about that and see if there really is something wrong, or maybe there's something going on around you that you weren't aware of. So let's get started. I'm Rosemary Levesque, and I am the author of Heal Together, Natural Health Solutions for Animals and Their Humans. I am Reiki Master, Shaman, Psychic Intuitive, and Certified Vibrational Sound Master Teacher, and so many other things that I enjoy, not only the intellectual part and the scientific part of things, but also the intuitive part of things. So let us get into it a little bit. Are you empathic? And do you have some of these characteristics? Do you understand and share the feelings of other people? Are you more sensitive and intuitive than intellectual? Do you absorb or express other people's emotions or symptoms? Are you nurturers, teachers, healers, and caretakers? If so, then you might find that you are empathic. In addition, do you feel traumatized, alone, vulnerable? Do you feel judged, rejected, or misunderstood? Do you take on the weight of the world? And do you feel easily overwhelmed? I bet you can think of examples of all of these characteristics, and it might be that they don't all come at once. They might come one at a time. If you feel like you are, let's just feel judged, rejected, or misunderstood, for example. Let's say you really are into plants and herbs, and you like the feeling of working with herbs. You add herbs not only in your cooking, but you also use them sort of medicinally, I guess I would say. You would find ways to use herbs based on the properties of the plants and have a real understanding of it, but also an intuitive sense of it. And if you are the only one in your family who does this, then you might find family members saying, no, I don't want to use that stuff, or no, that stuff doesn't work for me. I'm going to, go see my doctor, or go take this pill, or, you're kind of weird. You might be called weird. Or maybe a family member wouldn't call you weird. Maybe they might just pat you on the head and say, that's nice. I've had that before. That's nice. They don't really understand who you are, or what you are doing, or what you are talking about. And so you feel judged and rejected. You might feel that you are alone, that you don't have anybody you can talk to about what you feel about the connection you have to nature. It might be that you are driving by an accident scene, and all of a sudden you feel traumatized. You feel the nature of the situation, that somebody was hurt. You might even begin to cry. You might feel that you can't go out because you feel vulnerable. You don't like being in crowds. Or you might worry. You read the newspaper and watch television and find that you can't do those things because you are taking on the weight of the world right on your shoulders. So all of these things may indicate that you are empathic. And for some people, it really limits their lifestyle. They might feel that they can't manage things. So what is wrong with being empathic? Well, in our society today, in our education system, there is an emphasis on the intellectual rather than the intuitive skills. Teachers test for facts. They test for skills. They test for knowledge. They test for being able to think and calculate, and not so much on the intuitive aspects of situations or life skills. There is a focus on intervention rather than natural healing in the world today. If something's wrong, let's fix it, rather than let's see how the body does in this situation as whatever it is runs its course, and let's reinforce the strengths and the wholeness within the body rather than interfere with the process. Now there's also an emphasis more on the masculine values rather than the feminine values. Masculine values, it's not the macho part of masculine that I'm talking about. It's the protector, the money earner, the strong, the strength of having that presence, almost domineering feeling in society today, whereas feminine values, the intuitive, gentle, kind, softer approach, and again, feminine isn't just that. Feminine is also strong in many ways, but it's the difference between the masculine value and the feminine value. Society today isn't understanding or valuing the intuitive nature and the softer approach to living. There are stereotypes, fear, and disconnection. The stereotypes, you might find it in books or television or in the funnies, that the person who does natural healing is a kook and, is not really doing anything wonderful. If there's a shaman appearing on a program, it might be because they're expressing their value, but the way it's written, you're wondering, why are people reacting to a shaman that way? They're saying, well, that's not going to work. Why is this person choosing a shaman over a hospital, for example? And I'm not saying you should choose one over the other anyway. I'm just talking about the stereotypes that exist. People have a belief, and these beliefs are often based on fear and misunderstandings. There's also a disconnection that we have. We're disconnected from nature most of the time, unless you're going out and spending some time in teepees and laying on the earth. You might feel disconnected, right? We're in front of computers, we're in buildings where we've got wires all around us and connected to us, and we're not necessarily a part of a community either. And maybe there's job and family, and there is that. But people who are empathic tend to be more disconnected, and partly by choice, because they don't feel safe out in the world. There's a focus in society today on materialism, capitalism, and nationalism that separate us from each other. There's more segregation happening. This person versus that person, this ideal versus that ideal, and there's more argument about it. And so when you have an empathic person in the middle of a society that is focusing on all of these things that separate us and disconnect us from each other, it makes the empathic person feel more disconnected, more separate, more alone. There's a sliding scale of empathy that we were talking about in our recent class that we had on sensory intuition. And we said that the empathy, an empathic person could be on I'll call it the deep end of the scale, where it's hard for them to be in their body. An empathic person is very spiritual, very spiritually connected, and has a hard time grounding themselves. And so a person like that, on that deep end of the scale, might be feeling depressed. They might be anorexic or obese. They might feel suicidal or agoraphobic. They can't go anywhere. And that's all related to not being comfortable in their body. If you're not comfortable in human form, in your physical human form, because it doesn't feel good, then all of these symptoms can appear. Now, this is, of course, like I said, the deep end, where it's extreme. And in this case, there are some people who actually choose not to be in their body, and they find the fastest way out possible. On the other end of this sliding scale of empathy is a person who's got it together, a person who is successful, honored and respected, acknowledged, and even a leader and a beacon of light in the community. Now, we may see that. There are intuitive people who have reached that 10, that higher end of being empathic, where they're very comfortable in their body. They know how to ground themselves. They know how to keep their energy separate and safe, and to be a part of everything going on in the world, not be alone, and to be honored and respected for their trade, for the work that they have chosen, whether teacher or healer or nurturer of some sort, or leader. Now, many of us who are empathic are somewhere in the middle. And I still know people who are somewhere a little closer to that deep end. I haven't personally come across the people who are 10s yet. That's what we're working for, right? That's what we're moving toward, Homo luminous. We're moving toward feeling comfortable in our body and being lit up, being so connected to spirit and so connected to our body that there is actually no separation between being human and being divine. We've succeeded in creating that bridge where they are deeply integrated. Divine and embodiment are all together as one. So that, when you see that, when you feel that, it's one of the clairs. We talk about clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience. This is clairessence, the height of spiritual being in embodied form. So, what now? What do you do? Well, the first is, of course, the fundamentals. We always come back to the fundamentals. You've got to clear your energy. Get rid of your clutter. Sweep your energy, get it all clean, and smudge your home, and use your tuning forks, and use your essential oils, and use your Reiki, and get everything all cleared out. You don't want to hold on to other people's stuff. You don't want to hold on to the energy that might be coming your way. There is a term out there, energy vampire. Well, it's interesting because I know that if you're out there in the world and you're among other people, you might pick up on somebody else's energy where they are feeling like they could get a little energy from you. It might come in the form of somebody who keeps you on the phone for hours. It might come in the form of a person who has demands on you and you very willingly do them. It might come subconsciously or unconsciously where you're not even aware of why you might feel depleted. You might not even be aware of what is going on, but you've let your filter down. You've not cleared your energy, whether in your home or your office or in your personal space, your own body. And if you haven't cleared, grounded, and protected yourself, you are vulnerable. So we've got to do the fundamentals. We have to clear, we have to ground, we have to protect. If you don't know how to do that, please call me. We'll get you going in the right direction. Also, recognize and honor your gifts and talents. Now, this may be also, it may feel very hard to do because many of us are very humble about the gifts we have. We're very humble about, maybe not even recognizing that we're gifts. It's like, oh shucks, that's okay, no problem. So open-hearted, so giving, always giving. And when you give too much, it depletes you, right? So recognize and honor who you are. What are your gifts? What are your talents? Identify who you are. Be present in saying, I am a healer. I am empathic. I keep my energy separate and safe. I am dynamic. I am strong. You see what we're doing? We're choosing affirmations that reinforce who we are. We identify with that, and we are able to speak that and feel that and know that. And finally, find your tribe. You are not alone in this world. It may take some time to find the people you resonate with, but you will find them. You'll either take classes with them, or you'll work with them, or you'll meet them and they'll feel like they're on the same wavelength. A lot of people don't necessarily talk about or truthfully talk about who they are because they're afraid to express who they are. You might discover, however, an icebreaker that would work. For example, if you wear a crystal. If you like working with crystals and you wear a pendant that is attractive and it means something to you, it can be a conversation starter. And that might be a way to begin finding your tribe in a very small, very easy way. Just beginning to talk to people and finding out you have something in common. So finding your tribe, you're not alone in the world. Don't worry, there are a lot of people like you who are empathic and want to be more of who they are, but they don't know how to do that. So we're offering, of course, lots of ways to support you on your journey, and that's why we have the Healer's Journey here tonight. Working with vibration. We always have classes and workshops going on. Sensory intuition workshops will support you in your healer's journey to help you develop your intuitive skills. Vibrational sound healing classes. Also intuitive. It's not just about using tuning forks and how to use tuning forks. We had some fun with it this past weekend where we were actually using tuning forks as a pendulum. We were using a crystal tuning fork as a gauge, a measuring device on measuring how the energy was in the body or in areas of the body. We were using them as activators as well. Have a lot of fun with tuning forks. Reiki classes, and of course our Reiki Master Teacher program, which will be coming soon for people who are not only interested in doing Reiki, but teaching Reiki in a very positive, empowered way. Now here's something new that I haven't mentioned before. It's actually what we're going to be doing as an introduction to our Illuminated Healer program. We're going to be doing an activation. So we invite you to get your wings and become activated in as an illuminated healer. And so this activation is an experience. I'll just say it's an experience. It will feel like something. We encourage you to join us. It's on the calendar for November here in Portland, and this is actually what we're going to be doing in Sedona in October. We're going to be doing some activation, wing activation. And where will your path lead you? I always like to ask that question because we are on a path. This is a journey. And as you recognize where you are, I hope you're journaling. I hope you're writing down some experiences, some coincidences, which of course there are no coincidences. Everything is meant to be. And please let me know where your path is leading to you. I am honored to be a part of your journey tonight. The best way to reach me is through my website, secondnaturehealing.com, or email me, rosemary@secondnaturehealing.com. Our other website, illuminationreiki.com, is under reconstruction. It is switching over to illuminatedhealer.com, and that is in the process. So I will announce that later when it is finally ready. Oh, technology, right? The Healer's Journey webinar, if you are not a part of it, please go to my website to the webinar and register there. Then you'll get all of these recordings and supportive documents directly to your inbox on a regular schedule. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and I wish you well. Have a good night.